Hey, mamas, and welcome back to another episode of the Modern Moms Club. I want to chat with you guys today because if you've been following my Instagram and you've been keeping up with me, you've been seeing that Jake has been doing these ISR lessons. And I have a special guest today. Her name's Marina Arp, and she has been Jake's ISR instructor. So I have Marina on the podcast today. Marina, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Sandy, for having me.
So I want to dive in because I've gotten so many questions about what ISR is, how it's different from regular swim lessons. And I just want you to kind of clear up for all the moms and the dads listening on what exactly it is. I've got a lot of questions about, oh my God, like their kids in the water, is this going to traumatize them? So let's just clear up some of these maybe false beliefs or rumors or, just some of what these parents are seeing. So first of all, what is ISR?
ISR is Infant Swimming Resource. We were founded 52 years ago by Dr. Harvey Barnett at the University of Florida here in Florida, up in Gainesville. And after he saw, unfortunately, a drowning occur, and with his water background, he decided that he wanted to pursue that not one more child drowned, and he started this amazing company.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about how this works. I mean, I obviously know because we've gone through this with you, but for a mom or a parent listening in that's never heard of this before, that's maybe seen it, they see some of the videos that we've shared.
Of course.
So walk us through what this program is and how it works.
Okay, so we're a little bit different than the traditional swim lessons because we are every day, Monday through Friday, like school, and the lessons are very short. They're less than 10 minutes a day. So with the repetition and consecutiveness, we build upon the life-saving self-rescue skills, which are roll back to float. And if anybody saw Jake learning at the beginning, it wasn't as fun as towards our third or fourth week in lessons once he knew what he was doing. And he was confident that he could actually turn over and save his life. Maybe he could save his life, but we all sure knew that he could float. And we had him time floating for, well over a minute. He's an outstanding student. And at the beginning, he wasn't exactly happy, but he can't talk. He's only a year and a half. He was 17 months when we started. So he has minimal communication, and he knew where the towel was. He knew where mom was. But then after, he had fun, and he built upon great foundation for his skills of floating and swimming. And at the end, even with the clothes, he was laughing. And at the end of the course, we do have a few lessons with the clothes just in case they were to fall in, because 4 out of 5 times, 83% of the statistics show that if the kids do have a little accident, it's not in their board shorts or their bikini. They actually have a diaper on. If
and
they're
shoes, all of it.
Shoes, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And if the winter clothes, if we're not here in Florida, if you're up in New York or Colorado, we practice with jeans and parkas or North Face, big, thick jackets.
Yeah. So super heavy, and it weighs you down. Like when Jake was out of the pool, you're like, this weighs like a ton, the shoes, the pants, the shirt, the diaper.
Yeah, since he's so little, it was definitely like 10% or more of his body weight.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Again, people seeing these pictures, if they were to see this picture at first and thought this was his first week of lessons or something, it might misconstrue the wrong ideas. But
yeah, I'm going through, for all of you that are listening to the podcast, I'm going through Marina's Instagram right now. This will be up on YouTube. And there's a bunch of videos that I shared on mine. We have some videos as we went through this process of, what each week, how kind of it was evolving every week. The first week, he definitely wasn't excited. He was like, oh my God, he knew it was coming. He knew every day, because after the consistency, they know it's coming. He'd point to the pool. He'd say Marina. He knew Marina was associated with the pool. I would say after the third week, he started to get more comfortable. And, I did an Instagram story on this. I did a blog on this, and I said, this is like anything in life. The more you do it, the more comfortable and confident you become. So the parents that are alarmed and they see these kids like the first week or two that are panicking and they're crying and they're upset. Like, listen, if y'all could cry at work because you weren't happy with what was going on your first week at work, you would probably do the same thing. So, they're just communicating. They're just saying they're uncomfortable. It's not like they're in danger. They're not, a lot of people that reach out to me as I was documenting this journey, they would say, my God, like, your son's crying. Doesn't this upset you? And I'd say, of course it upsets me. Like, I'm his mother. No mother wants to see their child cry. But I'd rather him cry and be upset, learning a very vital, important skill, how to save his life in the water, than not. And he doesn't learn it. And God forbid there's a situation and he doesn't know how to save his life. So you have to weigh like the pros and cons here. Like, are you okay with letting your child get uncomfortable for a little while, for 10 minutes? I mean, Marina was just saying this is like 10 minutes a day. For the outcome.
It's right. As you know, it's the hardest part about this is the scheduling and making the commitment about the parents getting the kids to the pool. It's kind of like when you start your exercise journey, or you go to a Soul Cycle or a CrossFit. The first class isn't always what everybody
here
else.
We go. This is a great picture. This was like the first.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I love Soul Cycle. Well, the first 2 or 3 rides might be a little bit harder than your 30th ride.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same about exercising. Are you committed to the process, or do you think you can just get quick results in like 20 minutes or some shake?
Yeah. It's so true. For all of you guys that are listening to this on the podcast, I just popped up a picture on Marina's Instagram of Jake. And this was like, let's see, it's only 12. Let's see, what day was this that we did this lesson? This was probably in the second or third week, right? No. This would have been in the first or second.
First week, yeah.
Okay. So the picture that I have popped up on here, if you check this out on YouTube, he's crying. Marina's handing Jake to me out of the water. And then the picture that I had up early on here just a minute or two ago was him towards the end. And you just see him chilling. He's floating in the water, like, he's getting used to it. So there's like a massive difference between the first and the second week and the third and the fourth week. So like, I would love for you to talk about a few of the beliefs that some of these parents have and how you're able to, work with them and make them feel comfortable through the process.
Well, because this program has been around for so long, there unfortunately are like copycats. And so people will say, oh, it's 10 minutes, or, oh, it's sort of the same, or they do the close. So you first need to make sure that you're going to the infantswim.com website and finding a certified ISR instructor. And the ISR instructors, will work you through this whole process. I think that's really important. So we clarify that everybody knows that that everybody has insurance and is CPR certified and has the right background.
Yep.
Right. That's how you found me on the website.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what other ways can you make, like, because for me, like I said, it's really hard to see your child like being upset. So like, what are some things, how do you like reassure parents, on this project? Because it's probably harder on the parents than the kids, I would think, because we're watching it.
Right. I understand this. And I know, because I've seen it from myself firsthand as a child and a teenager growing up, watching my mom teach when I was just waiting after school from swim team, and, oh, the babies are crying. Oh, the babies are crying. So I understand. It's like the airplane. Nobody wants to hear the babies cry. But at the same point, they're learning something. And like when they first got buckled into the car seat, they might not have enjoyed.
Oh yeah, Jake still hates his car seat.
Or like when you have to like change them on the changing table on their back. But these are positions that unfortunately, for the greater good of their life, they've got to get in the car. We've got to go places, and we're going to put them in car seats. So, for the well-being of the child and for teaching them these life-saving skills, at first it might be a little bit hard the first week. So you just kind of have to suck it up and be your best actor and coach. And if you need to be really comical and clap through it or have some music, sometimes if you have a support team, it can be helpful. Or if you have too many people on the deck, or that are just putting chiming in, passerbyers, it can be annoying or distracting, but if we are sharing a pool and it's a public place or it's a public or club, that's going to be real life. There's going to be someone swimming over there, something swimming through you, splashing you, jumping, all that kind of thing. So that's kind of why it just doesn't happen in a week or two. If I could come once and teach them all these skills, I wish I could, but gradually each week they get so much better. And then when they practice, it's just really great to see.
Yeah. So how you just mentioned practicing. So you go through, so how long is a typical, like lesson, or not lesson, but like course with you? How many weeks?
It takes between 4 to 6 weeks to get this swim, float, swim, and the self-rescue, roll back to float skills.
Okay. And how often should parents be doing this? Like, is it one and done? Is it every few months? How often should they be refreshing this?
This is kind of like anything else that has maintenance, like your car or your teeth. You don't just get one oil change a year or go see the dentist once and then see him when you're like 4 or 5. You keep going back and having refreshers or touch-ups or maintenance or whatever you like to use as the word. But since the kids are rapidly growing so much, from infants to toddlers and then toddlers to little people, their body sizes are expanding, either longer or thicker, or they're changing shoes. As you know, Jake has been the same size clothes the whole time. So that's kind of what we like to use as a guideline when they change their shoe or they change their clothes, unless you have some child that's changing clothes every month. So, 6 months.
Every 6 months.
6 months to a year, they definitely, if they've waited a year, that's kind of long. They're probably, if you did it at 14 months and now they're over 2, you should come back and get some refresher lessons.
Okay.
It's coming into, in Florida, it's kind of summer year round, but depending if they're in an up north state where they swim Memorial Day through Labor Day, it's always better to get it done around Easter, Passover, and get the lessons. So then when the pools are open, your kid is safe. They can have these life-saving roll back to float skills. And then, if you do go in the pool, you can go in and practice once you've had the parent lessons. And they're ready to go for the summer and everybody's happy. You're not like going through starting lessons in the middle of June and then it's July. And then by the time it's like good to swim, it's all, and half the summer is already gone.
Okay. So about every 6 months you want to be doing these refreshers. Okay. And I'd love for you to tell everybody, all the moms and the parents on here, what is the difference between ISR and regular swim lessons? Because I got this question so much.
Right. Regular swim lessons normally meet like once a week or twice a week, and they're about a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. And they can be private, but most of the time they do have like a meetup, or there's a group of kids and your kid gets a turn. And they have, most of the time, like 97% of the time, they're using some sort of noodle, toy, flotation device, barbell to kind of lift the kids up to simulate that they're floating or they're swimming. But again, they're using floaties. So the kids aren't learning per se. Like our children, ISR students, everything they do is all sensory motor learning because they're doing it themselves. I'm not helping them. I'm prompting them and showing them the way through at the beginning. And then I gradually wean off the support or the help to do that procedure. And then they can do it themselves. And once they can do it themselves and they actually are comfortable doing the swim and everybody's happy, then the kids get happy. And, everybody sees, like, if there are any onlookers or people from a distance or maybe on a balcony watching from an apartment. I've taught in every location you can name. So I've had all sorts of people watching or audiences that weren't per se our crowd. And then by the end, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe a month or, a few weeks ago, that child it didn't look like they were having so much fun. And look, they love it. They can float, they can swim. Oh, this is amazing. And kind of everybody everybody
Yeah,
turns
people in our
on
building
the
were saying that, like all the staff here would come out and watch Jake, and they'd be like, "Wow, we can't believe like in just 3 weeks or 4 weeks, the
yeah.
difference it makes."
Right. And that's why it sounds easy that, like, oh, yeah, let's go on Saturday morning for half an hour. And it might work for your schedule because, every day there's other activities like soccer and basketball or ballet. But unfortunately, swimming can save their life, this
Mm-hmm.
float technique that I'm teaching them. So, most of the pediatricians in our area and the areas I travel to all approve this program and recommend their patients to go through it. So that's another base or reference you can use. You can ask your pediatricians. The AAP just changed their statement, so they approve all children over 1 to do some sort of survival swimming lessons, and survival is the key word there.
Yeah. And what's the youngest age that a mom or parents can get their kids involved with this?
At 6 months. At 6 months,
Okay.
they are developmentally able to sit up and roll over from front to back. So they have to be coordinated to be able to do these moves on the floor and actually
Mm-hmm.
be able to scoot away from you to, to be able to unfortunately drown.
Yeah.
So, and they actually have to be able to coordinate it enough to roll back and float. So those are, it's 180 days old or 6 months. I know everybody's in the counting age when they're very young, but it's really great foundation to start them 6, 7, 8 months old. They become just like little corks or buoys. They're
Yeah.
automatically, they're their own floaties, we could say.
Uh-huh.
Innocent little virgin babies. They don't have any, bad habits from jumping on the stairs or playing with noodles or seeing kids and floaties and all that stuff that unfortunately some of the bigger kids get exposed to if they don't have a fresh start like the babies.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, and then another question for you is, we're coming up on summer. We're coming up. Memorial Day is
Right.
so close. We're almost in April,
Yes.
and so many kids are going to be around the pool. It's just no matter where you are in the country,
Yes.
um, it's going to
Or the
be
lake or a river.
yeah.
As you
So
know, like not in Florida, everybody has pool access like we do.
yeah,
Every other house in
yep.
Florida. But
So how can you? I would love for you to talk to some of the to the parents here about what precautions they can take on top of these lessons that can help them keep their kids safe around the pool or water.
well, they should first always constantly supervise their children. That's the first rule, constant supervision. They should have a pool fence up always. If there is a area that they can barricade or block off, as far as a pool or a gate or something like that, like all these pictures you're scrolling
Yep.
through. If it's a community pool or a commercial based property, there should be some sort of gate with self-closing latches and easy access latches that take an extra pole or top that are over 4 feet tall. And then obviously everybody should be always watching. Pools in Florida are not lifeguarded like pools in New York and other states. So you need to be your own lifeguard. Never turn your back or go to your cell phone. Get the kids out of the pool and put them on a
Mm-hmm.
towel if you've got to go inside, or make them go inside. If one kid needs to go to the bathroom or get a snack or a doorbell answers, don't ever leave the kids unattended in the pool. And everybody in the house and babysitters and grandparents all should be CPR educated and know first aid and CPR
Mm-hmm.
also. Yeah.
Okay. And then also I'd love for you to talk about like the alarms, the pool fences, all that stuff too.
Right. So the alarms are great. They pass a lot of home inspection and permitting here in some states, depending upon what the real estate and zoning laws are. But the alarms can be just like a cell phone, like we just did. We turned it on airplane mode. You can
Mm-hmm.
mute them. You can take them off really easily. A
Yeah.
7-year-old that wants to be MacGyver can turn that off. So you should have alarms. You should have latches. You should have the gate. You should have the pool fence. I know they're not the prettiest when we have these beautiful views, but unfortunately a child at the bottom, even if they have these great self-rescue skills, if they lose consciousness because they were jumping or they ran a big wheel bike into a pool, or they just got into the pool, a million swimming lessons. Michael Phelps can't, roll back and float and save
Mm-hmm.
his life if he loses consciousness. And
Yeah.
it's head. So we just have to always remember that segmented swims, if it's hard to watch them, then set a timer, do 10 minutes, do 15 minutes, and then get out, go run, play soccer, or get them out of the pool, or do some other exercise, and then let them go back to the pool later, but only go back to the pool. And if you're having any pool parties or any situations like that for holidays, you can always call a lifeguard services here in South Florida, or you can find some sort of lifeguard company to hire a lifeguard. You hire babysitters, you hire drivers, you hire all these other precautionary. See, this is a home that's for sale that doesn't have a pool fence. So because older high school kids live there. So that's first thing on the list. If somebody were to get that, we would connect them with Lifesaver Pool Fence Company or another pool fence company. There's also the rollover pool covers. You just have to be very careful with those, that nobody is ever trapped in, or they don't go off automatically. And there's some safety electronic spaz, you know what I'm talking about. If like the power surges and then the cover rolls back and retracts, then we have an unfenced pool because of mechanical error. So make sure that you can have that, but then also have the ugly baby gate. I know it's ugly and everybody says, oh, why do I have to spend another $2,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 on this? But it protects your kid. The car seat is either, but you put them in that even though they don't like it. Yeah, definitely.
And then also I want you to talk to about the foundation, the Live Like Jake
Live Like
foundation
Jake
as well.
Founded here in Palm Beach Gardens by a lady named Carrie Morrison, who unfortunately her son Jake was lost over Thanksgiving weekend in 2013. And she now is just committed to ISR and getting lessons in her foundation to all sorts of children all over the place. She's given scholarships to my students in New York. She works with all the ISR instructors. She does a race every year. It's Mother's Day weekend here in Abacoa, Jupiter. This year it's May 11th, her 5K race. So if you have any runners out there and you want to help drowning prevention and water safety, please sign up for our race here in Jupiter with Live Like Jake. So far, I don't know the dollar amount she has raised, but I know that she has provided over 1,250 scholarships for children to go through various programs, primarily ISR, but if there isn't an ISR instructor in that location, she connects them with somebody so they can learn self-rescue skills. And unfortunately, the kids that can't afford, for the families of the children that drowned, she helps them with their funeral expenses, and for the near drowning, she's helped with some medical expenses. So the things that people really don't like to talk about and you don't hear about much unless you have a lovely Google alert like I do, that I hear about every single drowning that happens all over the world daily. So
yeah. And you know, it's not something that we want to think about ever. No. But moms and dads listening, like, you have to think about what precautions you can take, like these lessons, like the gates, like the alarms, like just doing the things that, like Marina said, if it doesn't look pretty or you don't have the time to do it, like, make the time for your child, because it could save their life. Or
just don't do swim at all. Don't go near a pool. I know it might sound mean, or why is she saying she's a swim person? Well, if you don't expose them to it at all and you don't show them it's fun, then you're not showing them to go back there. So,
but also at the end of the day, like, no matter where you live, summertime happens and it's going to be, you know, so I think the better thing is like, know that it's going to, like, it could happen, but be like, arm yourself and your children with the tools in order to prevent it from happening.
Obviously. Yeah. We need to be protected. We need to follow the safety checklist. But our golden rule is the safest lesson is no lesson, kind of like the safest swim is no swim. If you're wondering if it's like the timing or the weather or the kid or you, anything like that, just don't swim. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many other activities. Like, we know it is fun, but unfortunately, swimming pools, beaches, rivers can be deadly environments for children if everybody's not paying attention. And the adult who is taking them in the pool, swimming as a buddy sport, they need to be able to know how to swim and save themselves. So
Yeah.
don't just send a kid into a pool or to sign up to a camp that isn't fully certified and has, you know, verified water watchers watching your kid.
Right.
And babysitters should all know how to swim. Your nanny should know how to swim.
Yeah.
So make sure everybody is safe when they're doing these activities.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. Awesome. So any last tips you can give to the moms or to the parents listening in?
Just, I would say just really, look up and try to find an ISR instructor if you can. If you have the time this summer, really make the commitment to self-rescue swimming. You can go back and you can contact me. You can look through Jake's progress. But right, Sandy, in 4 short weeks, he just is amazing in the pool, and now he's happy, he loves it, and he's safe in case he ever needs to use these skills. So
yep. Absolutely.
The short time commitment.
And Marina's also your traveling ISR instructor. So she goes, what is it, New York, LA, and Miami?
Yes, I go from South Florida up to New York, and then I go out to LA after Memorial Day, and then after 4th of July, I'll be back in New York in the Hamptons for my students out east, and then back to the city, and then back to South Florida. So I'm traveling.
She's all over.
I'm all over the place. If you need help, I'll connect you with another ISR professional or somewhere. We have over 20 ISR 20 countries covered too. So we've got ISR now globally. It's really expanding. And if anybody is interested, you can also become an ISR instructor like me. We always need more teachers. So
definitely. And Marina, where can everybody find and connect with you?
I have a website, celebrityisr.com, or my Instagram, celebrityisrmarina. You can always email me, m.arp@infantswim.com. So those are my lifelines, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for clearing up some of the questions and sharing it with the parents, because like I said, as we've been on this journey, I've gotten so many messages about this, about how important it is, and questions about what we're doing. So I hope that this podcast was able to answer some of those questions that you guys had, that you were asking me and sending to Marina. And for sure, get in touch with Marina and ask her, see if she is in your town. Like I said, she does travel, so maybe she'll be around you locally at some point, and you guys can link up, and just reach out to her on Instagram, follow all of her stuff, because she does put out a lot of great content to help parents, just be more aware of ways that they can prevent and keep the pool fun, but still be safe. So Marina, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, no, thank you so much, Sandy, for spreading the message about drowning prevention and helping me. I really appreciate everything you've done for ISR and the Live Like Jake Foundation.
Absolutely. All right, mamas, go check out Marina, and we'll see you on the next episode.
All right, thanks.